Hello everybody, and welcome back to Hillside Forge. On today's episode, we have an exciting announcement. This is Curtis Samsel. He's going to be my apprentice in the shop, so you'll see him in our videos from time to time. He's also one of my good friends from church, and it's an honor to have you in the shop today, Curtis.
It's great to be here, bro. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Today, in order to get him started, so you have little to no blacksmith experience, right?
None, pretty much, yeah.
None. Okay, so we are going to learn today how to make a Railspike knife. This is going to be his first time forging, so what you'll do is you'll see me go through the process just so you have a walkthrough, and then I will show you snippets of him as he begins to do his project to see how it turns out. So for a first time making a knife, first thing we got to do is look pretty.
Yeah.
Are you pretty now?
I tried, but not really.
Not me either.
No,
Not me either.
it's alright. It happened.
Alright, now seriously, the first thing we got to do is light the forge. So let's get you over there and get this started, alright?
Awesome.
Let's go. Okay, alright, yeah. Alright.
Good morning, morning, morning.
We begin by flattening out the end of the Railspike. We do this with the most heat possible, so try to keep it in that nice orange glow. The steel moves a lot easier the hotter it is, so keep the iron hot and keep working it.
That's it. That's because I'm bending up, huh? Is it because you got to your hammer?
As we flatten it out, we want to be careful to leave about 4 inches of the Railspike stock intact, which will become our handle later on. So it's just going to take eye measurement, and then as you're forging it down, holding your hand over the piece, obviously not touching it so you don't burn yourself, but that you have a good estimation of if your hand will fit or not. It's also very important to flip the Railspike on both sides so that you have a nice, even transition point from your handle to your blade, and it's not lopsided.
That's fine. Okay. All I'm doing now.
Here all we do is strike both sides evenly, doing a hit, check, so to make sure that the transition is nice and smooth and our blade is straight.
When you look at this, down this, see how it's favoring one side?
Yeah.
So when I want to work that point, I'll come back to there, I'll strike from the top, and I'll switch. I'll strike. I'm trying to even this out. Like this. This taper will that's just practice.
Why do you strike? Oh, that's why you strike that way first?
Yeah. So if I'm driving like this, and I'm striking down, I'm going to create a lip here.
Yeah.
Okay? But if I'm working both sides evenly, this taper comes down nice and straight. You know what I'm saying? It makes it more even.
Yeah.
Because if you're favoring one side,
Again, we
you're
check the
gonna have
dimensions
a blade
of the
90-degree corner,
Railspike for our handle,
So
making
don't
sure
worry
there's enough
about that
space
right
for
now.
our
Worry about
hand by
getting
holding
this
our hand
flat.
over it.
So this is my bevel. So my bevel is going to face the same way as my spike.
Now, using the crossbeam side of the hammer, we begin to draw the metal out wider so we have the appropriate width for our blade. This is done on the edge side for the most part. You can do it up to the spine, but for right now I'm focusing on getting the edge and the heel of the blade out where I want. I use the horn of the anvil to draw the heel out further.
Wider itself. Not going to do too much. Just a little. I'm going to work both sides.
Now I strike the steel at the tip using a glancing blow. So this is about a 45-degree angle, whatever angle I want the tip to be at, and striking down and glancing away using the edge of the anvil as a reference to bring that point to a more fine-tuned shape. Now, after I have the blade and the point about where I want, since I have so much thickness left in the steel, I use the cross peen of the hammer to draw the steel out a little more. It gets a little bit more length out of it when you use the peening side of your hammer as opposed to the rounding side.
So now you can see that this isn't straight, right? I have this deformation here where it comes off.
While we forge the blade, it kind of makes the blade turn into a leaf shape, so I want to flatten out the spine. I do that by striking the handle material, and then later on when I continue to smooth up the transition, it will continue to make that line more flush as I strike.
And now I'm not trying to make this flat. I'm trying to make that area flat on the end, so I can make that even. I'm not putting the spike flat on. I'm putting it just right on everything out.
Up my preform so that when I begin to forge my bevel, I have a nice drop point slope as opposed to a straight back or a different style of blade. So since we're going for the drop point, it's very important to have a nice curve downward towards your cutting edge. Now I begin the beveling by striking on the blade side of the knife using the rounding side of my hammer, which will draw the tip upward and also make our edge thinner. It's very important to flip the blade to both sides, that way your bevel is nice and even. Now that our blade is forged for the most part, I take some glancing blows and gentle taps to try and refine the shape as much as possible, doing straightening and cleaning up my lines as I go.
See how I'm straightening
Now with Curtis, I use a hot cut tool to begin to scribe lines on all four sides of the rail spikes. Using a hit strike method, I place the chisel where I want and then strike it. You could also do this with an angle grinder, easily cutting 4 lines, not super deep on all 4 sides, trying to keep them center for the twist. The twist with these lines makes a far more decorative and elegant twist as opposed to just twisting the steel without these lines. Now it's time for the quench. Water is completely safe to use for a rail spike as they are a lower carbon steel. I would not use a rail spike as a utility knife, more just decoration or for a conversation piece of someone who likes the railroad. After the quench is complete, I head on over to the grinder. So I'm going to profile everything first, and after I have the profile the way I want, I lay a very thick V grind similar to what you would do on an axe, so that I have my blade down to 0, 0 being our cutting edge. So then as I progress my way up through the belts, all I do is chase that line where my bevel transitions to my V grind until I have the bevel recessed far enough back that I am pleased with it. You could do a complete V grind, which goes from spine to edge, but for us, we're doing more of a Scandi grind, so there is a flat bevel and then a transition to the sharper bevel. After wire wheeling, I clean up the transition point where the ricasso comes in contact with the handle, and now it's time for Curtis to do it.
Okay, so you're about 3 heats in. What are you thinking of the process?
It's not as easy as it looks. Definitely not as easy as it looks.
Okay, what are your greatest challenges right now?
For me, it's the lifting of the arm.
Okay,
I
which
can't see-
arm? Your tongue
My
arm?
left one, my tall one. Yeah,
Okay.
I just can't seem, when I'm on the anvil, I can't seem to not lift it up while I'm pounding. So that's really the main part.
Okay.
And taking my time, not rushing it, you know? That's another big thing.
Alright, so that concludes this video. We have both officially made Railspike knives with the rail tie. No, they're not the rail ties. They're rail spikes. They're rail spikes.
Ties or spikes?
No, the ties are the wooden piece.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
The
you're
spike
right.
is what holds it in.
Holds it in.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah. We know what we're talking about.
Professionals. Come on.
Yeah, professionally wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we successfully made these. It was Curtis's first time making a knife. Just as commentary, I think that he did a really good job. I agree with what he was saying earlier on. It's just about taking your time. Sometimes you want to see the finished product too fast, so you end up rushing the process and just shooting yourself in the foot in the long run. So if you're starting out and you're curious if this is something you want to do or if this is a project you want to try, most important thing I can say is make sure you have the time set aside to enjoy what you're doing. If you're trying to do it in a rush, you're not going to have a lot of fun. But if you're taking your time and working through the steps, it's going to be a nice process for you, and you have something you can appreciate at the end. Now, obviously, we made different style knives. We both kind of have a drop point to us. And you can use pretty much any of the information that I've given you to forge different types of tips. However, he wanted...
Gibberish.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he did. You know, I remember that.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Me too, I remember from yesterday.
Okay. So, he asked to make a drop point knife, so that was why we chose this style. There's a previous video on the channel of how to make a Railspike knife. I admit the audio quality is not the best, so I apologize for that. However, if you wanted a new updated version, this is one way to do it. We did add a decorative twist into this. I think that overall there was a lot of fun, a lot of challenges, and these are pretty readily accessible, whether you get them from the railroad company or anything like that. There's also a really loud leaf blower outside. So, howdy neighbor.
Nice to make you, Jeff.
Yeah, that's so nice. Oh,
There it is.
there it is.
Look at that.
There,
Right at the end. Right at the end.
Right at the end. Right at the end. Well, it's an honor to have Curtis in the shop, to have an apprentice, and I'm excited for the videos we get to make in the future. You will be seeing him in more of the videos in the future. Probably not every video, but you'll see him in more of them. And the goal here is to get him trained up and to get a shop of his own, and then I'll have somebody else to make knives with and talk about, much like I do right now.
And best part is, they get to watch my journey.
They get to watch your journey.
I get to watch my journey.
Yeah,
We all get to watch it.
like
It's awesome.
like the band?
Yeah. Don't stop believing. Yeah, that was that drum.
It goes on and on.
Yeah.
Just kind of like these videos.
Yeah, probably that. Because you just talk too much. Exactly.
All right. Well, let's get some close-up of these knives, and then you guys have a great day. And if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Have a good night.